Hello everyone, so in this video I want to talk about the brand new iPad Pro. This is the brand new iPad Pro 10.5-inch iPad Pro. It was officially announced in this year WWDC 2017 and it is a really fantastic device. I've been using it for around 2 days and I'm pretty confident to tell you guys that this is a really good iPad. So let's start it from the bezel. I was super amazed about the bezels about these devices. The bezel is definitely much thinner than the bezels on the iPad Pro 9.7-inch and the bezels on the iPad Air 2. It was really thin. Although it's definitely not like infinite display, but I would say that it really makes the whole experience much cleaner, much lighter, and much beautiful, and the content just looks more immersive and more impressive. So I'm really excited to see that Apple actually make a thin bezel on this year iPad Pro, and that was really exciting. But because of the thin bezels, Apple can actually fit in 10.5-inch display in exact, almost identical bodies design of the 9.7-inch iPad Pro. This stuff is a little bit taller, a little bit wider than the iPad Pro 9.7-inch, but just a little bit. But unfortunately, because of this little bit part, you really cannot put in the original cases, the original iPad Pro 9.7 cases and keyboard on this device. You have to buy the new one, which is kind of sucks. But overall design part, there's not too much change. The most obvious change is obviously the bezel part, but I would say this is definitely a super incredible design changes. The next thing is about performance. This is a performance beast. It has an A10X chip, which has 6-core CPU and 12-core GPU, and for 6-core CPU, 3-core is for high intensive work, 3 cores for efficiency, which made this device really fast. The A10X chip could be like at the same performance as the Intel Core i5 processor, which is really impressive. So these things, when comparing the performance part to a laptop, I would say they are almost identical. They are really close to each other. So this is really a performance beat. I was so amazed that Apple can putting so much power onto a tablet, and I was super impressed about how their CPU team or these chip teams works. They are super awesome. Also, there's another thing that you worth to mention is the brand new display on this thing. This display is super awesome. It's definitely a Retina display, but more importantly, they added Pro Motion feature to display, which means the refreshing rate is going to 120 Hz instead of traditional 60 Hz on majority of traditional display, which means when you use your Apple Pencil, there are not too many delays and latency. Everything will be super smooth, super cool. And also, when you're refreshing the pages, when you glide through the pages, scroll through the pages, all the content will become very smooth, very beautiful. When you're playing games, the game will become super smooth, super awesome, super vivid, and really good. So the fast refreshing rate really made this display even better, even more high technology, even more technology advanced. And obviously you won't notice a huge difference between 60 Hz refreshing rate and 120 Hz refreshing rate through your eyes, but it's there. The technology is right there. And I also want to talk about another important thing with these devices is the brand new software. And all these great features like drag and drop, like file system, like all these impressive like multitasking, the stock system will available on the iOS 11, but current iPad only running iOS 10. Even the public beta will coming up in later this June. I will be super excited to upgrade it to the iOS 11, but my device still running the iOS 10.3.3 public beta 3 version, which is kind of the latest version for the public beta program. But I'm super excited about the iOS 11 because iOS 11 will really bring a lot of big change to the iPad Pro, really make this device really a pro devices. So I'm really looking forward to the iOS 11 upgrade coming up on the brand new iPad Pro. And also, when you look at technical specification list, you realize that both 10.5-inch and a brand new 12.9-inch the CPU at running at the exact same speed, which is the full speed of A10X chip. Because last year, the iPad Pro 9.7 is actually a little bit slower on the processing speed than the iPad Pro 12.9-inch version. But this year, Apple made it exactly the same. They are running the full speed A10X chip. Also, they both are running 4GB of RAM instead of the iPad Pro 9.7-inch only run 2GB of RAM. This thing has 4GB of RAM, which is really impressive. Thank you, Apple, for making this device as fast, as powerful, as impressive on the specs part as the iPad Pro 12.9-inch. Super awesome. And when you look at the technical specification, all the numbers are almost identical, except like the screen size, except the display's resolution is a little bit different. Other part, like performance part, like the camera part, is exactly the same. Talking about this camera is super impressive. It's a camera that is as good as the camera on the iPhone 7. They just use exactly all the numbers or the specification of iPhone 7 camera and put it onto this device. It has a 12 megapixel back cameras, which can shoot 4K video for sure and great low light shooting capabilities, and of course a brand new 7 megapixel front facing camera, which is the exact camera setup as the iPhone 7. It is really impressive that the camera's qualities, the image video shooting quality, is identical as the video quality on the most advanced phone on the market right now, which is the iPhone 7. And I don't think too much people using tablet, using iPad to actually doing photography. But if you really want to do some photography, if you really want to do some video editing shootings, this thing is super awesome. It's all the capabilities in one device. It's a great device for the photography. It's a great device for video editings. It will go super smooth with the brand new powerful A10X chip. So also, they also upgraded the storage space. So now you can choose from the 64 gigabytes to 256 gigabytes to 512 gigabytes storage, and 512 gigabytes storage, which is a lot. And this is the first time Apple is using and introducing the 512 gigabyte storage on an iOS device. The 512 gigabyte storage is almost identical as many solid state drive on a laptop, right? On a computer, on a PC. I'm really excited Apple truly eliminate the 32 gigabytes, because as we probably know, the app's getting larger and larger, your data is getting more and more every day, so it's really important to have more storage over the time. So thank you for Apple to upgrading to 64 gigs, 256 gig, and 512 gig. But because of the capacity is also improvement, a lot of performance improvement, definitely the price goes up a little bit. So for in Canada, the price starting at 869 Canadian dollar for 10.5-inch iPad Pro, and both of 10.5-inch and 12.9-inch available in 4 color, which you should know is space gray, silver, gold, and the rose gold. I would be super excited if Apple really make a total like matte black iPad Pro, but mine is gold, and I was super impressive, and because of thin bezel, it really made this device truly beautiful. And also get the Apple keyboard, the 10.5-inch keyboard, which is still the exact same design as the 9.7-inch keyboard and the 12.9-inch keyboard. Nothing changed, but this is a full-size keyboard, which for typing experience it would definitely become better. And here is the new boxes for the iPad Pro 10.5-inch. I always really love these boxes. It was super awesome. The design looks so cool. The wallpaper is super awesome. And you got 64 gigs at the back. You probably cannot see it, but it's right here. 64 gigabyte of storage is right here. And also, I got an iPad Pro leather sleeve. I found this thing is pretty useless because I realized that although you can put Apple Pencil right here, but for in this part you can only put an iPad Pro without a keyboard inside. If you put a keyboard attached to the iPad Pro and put it in it, it won't fit that well. You can only put, just like pictures, that you can just put an iPad Pro without a keyboard in it. That will be a little bit complicated because you have to like carry another keyboard or the cover part with it. So that doesn't work for me very well. But overall, I think the iPad Pro 10.5 inch is a pretty good device. and it will be more impressive when iOS 11 officially come out. I will definitely do a separate video on that, but right now I would say this device is super awesome. I freaking love it, and I think it's really become a pro devices coming up. So yeah, that's kind of my short review on this cool new devices. I was super impressed that Apple actually make the screen a little bit larger, but not making the footprint of the body that larger. So super awesome, Apple, and thank you for watching this video, and have a great night, everyone. Bye.